In a NewsNation Network exclusive, Area 51 veterans chosen by the government for top secret work have something in common other than their secret service. Some now saying that they are getting sick with serious health issues, tumors, and cancers. Decades ago, these men and women were hand-picked, and today they still can't tell me about their missions in the desert. But as they get sicker, the vets tell me the Department of Defense still will not acknowledge their service on the range, keeping them classified and unable to get the critical benefits and care they need.
They keep us classified to protect themselves.
A group of Air Force veterans and a DoD contractor say they have been sickened, even disfigured, after being stationed in the desert in the mid-'80s to early '90s. Did you have any idea what you were being exposed to?
None. None of us knew.
These veterans say they served at the Nevada Test and Training Range, which encompasses the infamous Area 51, a remote spot that hosted nuclear testing both underground and atmospheric. Since the 1950s, their work so secret there would be no record that the men ever served in the windswept desert.
It was the technology behind it. That's what we were there to make sure nobody got.
They still can't talk about most of their work on the range, but the one mission they can now disclose, guarding the F-117 Nighthawk, America's first stealth bomber.
We ended the Cold War, truly.
Oh, wow. The story begins with a reunion barbecue back in 2016 at veteran Dave Crete's Las Vegas home. Air Force buddies who hadn't seen each other in decades make a startling discovery.
So I asked the guys, we're just sitting around drinking beers. I said, you guys, I got this lump on my back. And I don't know, has anybody else got that?
I said, yeah, I had one of those. I had it removed. It was the size of a grapefruit.
6 out of the 8 vets had benign tumors called lipomas. The 7th said, I don't have any, but my son was born with one.
I just kind of confirmed it. There was an issue. Where we were, that's the one common denominator, is we were all there.
A DoD contractor who worked at the base at the same time as these vets sickened.
Yeah, he took his teeth out first because they had to scrape out a lot of cancer.
They had to scrape out a lot of cancer.
2 cancers, 80% of his tongue removed along with his vocal cords, all of his teeth. He lives on a feeding tube. The veterans tell NewsNation their medical claims are being denied by Veterans Affairs. The work so top secret, their records are what's called data masked, as if they were never there.
It's like a kick in the gut. It's just a matter of betrayal.
After learning of the serious health conditions his Air Force brothers were suffering from, Dave did some research on the Nevada test site. Hundreds of nuclear weapons tests were conducted in the area from the 50s until the early 90s. In the 1970s, the government began exploring the idea of building a military installation there to house classified projects. A 1975 Department of Defense environmental report of the area acknowledges nuclear contamination, depleted uranium, beryllium, and plutonium present before the men were sent by the government to the range. But the report says, quote, discontinuing the work done would be against the national interest.
It's one thing to be ignorant, or to be naive, to not know, but they've understood for a long time.
Dave's discoveries led him to create the Invisible Enemy, an advocacy group where he says he's connected with more than 1,000 veterans who served at the Nevada test site. Hundreds of them report being sick.
We were in the dirt all the time. I can recall the times where, when we'd perspire, that our uniforms would turn kind of a yellowish orange.
Our government knew that that area was contaminated. So knowing that, and they willfully put us there, that's giving somebody a death sentence.
We did something important. We did good work. We changed things. We don't deserve being ignored by saying we don't exist.
There has been a major update since our reporting originally aired. A new piece of legislation has been introduced just this week. It is named after veteran Dave Crete. Also, Congressman Mark Takano, ranking member of the House Committee on Veterans Affairs, saw our story. He has been fighting for these veterans, holding a congressional roundtable on the very site where these men served in the desert this week. For more, we are joined by Air Force veteran and founder of the Invisible Enemy, Dave Crete. Dave, it is wonderful to see you again, and congratulations on this new piece of legislation. What does it aim to do? What was your reaction to it being named after you?
Thank you, Natasha. It's great to see you again. As for the naming of the legislation, probably could have pushed me over with a feather when Senator Rosen came up to me. We were having an event, a fundraiser, and some stuff going on, and she was attending. And she gets out of her car and she walks up and she just says, before we go in, I want you to know something. Couldn't believe it. I mean, truly, it's typically it's an honor. You have to be dead. No joke. I mean, this just doesn't happen. And so I was absolutely floored. And then I also did find out that my wife was behind some of that as well and worked with them to keep it a secret from me. And it worked. And I was shocked, and I'm honored beyond belief.
Yeah, she has such a dear heart as well. What will this legislation do if it moves forward?
So the goal is a few things. One, it's going to unmask us all. It's going to give the list of folks to the VA that says all these people served there since 1951. It's 75 years of military history that is going to be opened up. It's going to be able to tell the VA what all we were exposed to. It's going to tell the world that it is an area of toxic contamination, which is going to open us up so that everybody can receive the benefits that they've been seeking for so long. And hopefully in the end, when all is said and done, it's going to tell the government to stop doing this stuff, not stop doing top secret stuff. We got to have that, but don't send people somewhere that you're going to make them sick and you're going to make their families sick. They got to stop that.
And time is of the essence here. When I first spoke to you, when we first aired your story last year, there were 446 names on that memorial list. Where does that number stand tonight? And what is the average age? What does that number mean to you?
We're at about 575 names. The average age is 63. What that means to me, I'm 61.
Yeah.
So it's everybody, you try not to think about it, but the question's always who's next? Who's the next phone call who's the next widow that's going to call me? Or the next guy that sends me a note and says, hey, my buddy such and such just died yesterday.
What is your message tonight? What is holding up this fight?
Congress, the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of the VA, the White House, any of them can get together and fix this. We are really blessed in Congress that we're getting a growing number of advocates that are really trying to help us with legislation. Our issue isn't something so much that people are against. The issue is people don't know anything about it. I meet with congressmen that have been in Congress for 30 years and they have no idea what I'm talking about. So it's a big educational process. And the more they hear, the more support that we get. But it's a fixable problem. The only path I have is to go down the legislative process. There's many people that say we shouldn't have to do that. I agree, we shouldn't have to do that. But if you don't want to do something, we're going to make them do something. It's one or the other. And this is the only tool that we have to make people do something.
One person who did know about your contribution, the late, great John McCain, who shook your hand, and what did he tell you?
He said our unit, this was about 94, 95. And he came up to me. I was involved in politics in Arizona. He knew what I had done. And he came up and said, your unit ended the Cold War. Your mission ended the Cold War. We made a technology that the Soviet Union couldn't stop. And that was a remarkable day.
When you think about future generations, your kids, your grandkids, what do you want them to understand about this fight, what you have dedicated your life to?
That I'm nobody, and that person, that I tell people I'm nobody from somewhere, and nobody from somewhere can make a difference. You got to stand up and you got to hold your ground and you got to be able to take some punches because you piss people off, but you can make a difference. People act like victims too often, and we don't have to. It's a lot of work, but I hope that they know I made a difference.
You are making a difference. Dave Crete, it has been such an honor for me to get to speak to you these years. I recognize that blue living room wall, that dining room wall behind you. What an honor to be in your home and to get to hear your story. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Dave. Thank you.
Natasha, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have all the support. It's you and NewsNation that have helped us blow this up. Thank you.
Oh, you get me every time, Dave. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.